Welcome to New Game Plus! Even though I should have waited till a later date to do this, where I had more items available, I figured I'd just take a gamble. By the way, this took because, well, I guess I'm all about taking risks sometimes.
And because why not?
Yeah. Anyway, time for request 55. Defeat the ultimate opponent. So, yep, the ultimate adversary must fight this opponent alone. And the reward is an omnipotent orb. Now, I'm just gonna cut, unlike the non-con version, I'm just gonna cut out the trek through Monad to get to the bottom floor.
Yeah. Top, bottom, whatever.
Yeah. Right. Just gotta cut it out after a bit. But yes, it's time for the ultimate boss of Persona 3.
Yes.
Here she is. Now before the fight, you're gonna want to equip a Persona with auto buffs. Like my Siegfried right here. I'll explain how the fight works in full as soon as it begins.
I have been waiting for you. The adversary I asked you to defeat is now standing before you.
Yep.
Yes, I'm referring to myself. I have long sought an understanding of who I am, just as you and my master have done. Those who set foot in the Velvet Room are all destined to embark on this search for identity. I have come to know power in many forms. If I face one whose power exceeds my own, then I may discover an answer to my question, the truth of my existence. You may be able to give me that answer.
And the only way we know
Will
how.
you do me the honor of fighting me?
Yes.
You have my thanks.
Alright
Now,
then.
shall we begin?
Let's dance!
Time to battle the lethal elevator attendant.
Otherwise known as Elizabeth.
Who is that? Is it just me? Or does it seem like she
And by the way,
wants
if you
to
come here a
fight?
lot earlier than when Fuka joins,
Her power
she
is
will
unbelievable.
react to
Who is
Elizabeth, but it'll still be Mitsuru giving you support. Get a little oversight. Anyway,
Yeah.
my bread and butter for this fight is Orpheus Telos. Now, here's the thing with Elizabeth. In order to actually stand on somewhat even ground with her, you're going to need certain equipment.
I make my living.
Basically, you're going to need armor of light with either resist physical or resist magic. I prefer magic or physical. And it doesn't matter what your leg equipment will be, but it's best to get shoes of light.
Try to kill me.
As for your accessory, you're going to need the Divine Pillar. It, like I said, avoids evasion but halves damage.
I have chosen.
Now, in terms of her turn order, Elizabeth obviously attacks twice, and she will use a set amount of personas. You know, she uses a set, pattern. First turn,
Persona.
she uses Sort. Second turn, Jack Frost. Third turn, Thor.
Can you
Fourth turn,
stand this?
Kukulin. Fifth turn, Metatron. Sixth turn, Alice. Seventh turn, Nabaros. And eighth, Masakato. Now, what's it?
Token of my
I will note, every persona that she uses has differing immunities and different affinities that actually can be hits for damage. But for the sake of neutral damage, I'm going with Black Viper. Yeah. Notice, her health bar barely lowered at all. That's because she has a grand total of 20,000 HP.
So yeah, tough not to crack this one.
Yeah, you're gonna need. She has max stats, and you have to have max stats as well if you want to even have a chance of beating her.
Your fate is in the cards.
But in order to actually really have a chance, you're gonna want to stock up on somas, beads, bead chains as well, precious eggs, plenty of poisons if you need to,
Can you withstand this?
as well as have a plume of dusk available, as well as enduring soul. But in terms of skills, the number one thing you must have is high counter. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it, considering if you try to fight her normally, you will not win. You will have to rely on luck to actually get counters. Now,
Yeah.
basically, Cert will use Maragadine, Jack Frost, Mabufudine, Thor, Maziodine, Kukulin, Magaradine, Metatron, Mahamaan, Alice, Mabudoan, Nebro status effects, and for Masakato, you're going to want to use Infinity at all times.
Quad 9 Megadolon.
Yeah, twice in fact.
Ouch.
Because if you do Endurance, she'll use her second turn to cast it again.
Like so.
Block. Phew. Now the thing is, I will. I'm thinking. Yeah. By the way, Elizabeth, she is of the World Arcana. So, yeah, and of course, she possesses the ability to summon multiple personas, obviously. Now, yeah, she has max stats, 20,000 HP, attacks twice, but then again, she does have that set pattern that she never strays from. But in addition to those skills, she can use very powerful physical attacks. Now, in terms of her persona's affinities, let's see. It's kind of frozen right now, my information, but anyway. Cert is immune to fire, electricity, and wind. It takes normal damage from physicals and ice. And Almighty. All of her personas take normal damage from Almighty. Jack Frost, immune to ice, electricity, and wind. Thor, immune to physicals, fire, ice, and absorbs electricity. So yeah, that's probably the hard part of her elemental personas. Especially if you, especially if you get counter attacks that are just wasted. And by the way, after the end of her turn,
Watch out!
Ow.
we're dead. We had these enduring soul already. Great. Now I'm at a severe disadvantage. Anyway, at the end of each set of 2 turns, her affinity, when it's your turn, it's gonna be the last persona that she summoned.
Can you withstand this?
Speaking of which, Kukulins, he's immune to fire, ice, and wind. Metatron, immune to all elements. Alice, immune to all elements. Neberos has no immunities except for, of course, light and darkness. Masakato, immune to everything except Almighty. And there's another thing about Elizabeth, actually. She actually has a set amount of rules.
Persona.
Basically, you cannot have any of your personas that are equipped right at the moment of her turn. It cannot have more than 1 null, repel, or absorb property. Only resist skills can be used to cover any applicable weaknesses. And you cannot have any accessories that null any kind of physical or magic attack.
Persona.
And you can't use a persona whose singular null, absorb, repel property counters her own currently summoned persona. And finally, you cannot use Armageddon at any point in time unless her HP is below 10,000. If any of those conditions are violated, she will summon Pixie to fully heal herself with Dear Ryan and then use Quad 9 Megadolon to kill you.
Persona.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Break the rules, you're dead.
So, in fact, those rules are even unstated. You have to guess. Anyway, what?
If you guess wrong, dead.
But yeah, it's important to remember the pattern of her persona. The pattern for all of her personas, considering that every time she gets to an 8th turn, you'll want to summon Vishnu and Ananta, so you can use Infinity.
Prepare. Your
Yeah.
fate's in the cards.
So, for the sake of the fight, again, I use an almighty attack for my damaging skill. But even then, since she has max stats, it barely does anything. With a mind charge, roughly 200.
I apologize in advance.
So you just gotta chip away at her.
And hope for high counters, which pretty much allow her to suffer roughly 400 to 500 per counter.
Persona.
So, oh yeah, when she goes down below half health, she will use Pixie to fully heal herself. And there's a set amount of turns that you must beat her in, otherwise you run out of time.
I have chosen.
And that, of course, means death.
Your
Yep.
fate's in the cards.
So, that's more or less how the fight is. But yeah, you're gonna need plenty of somas, beads, precious eggs, and homunculi as well. Considering she does have Mahama on and Mamudo on.
Prepare.
Now, the most tricky part of this fight is when you can actually get her to below half health, but not have her heal herself. This requires you to do a lot of calculations with an actual calculator, actually. So you can keep track of her HP. As well as remember how many turns she's taken.
Yeah.
But yeah, if she does physical attacks with both turns when she has a certain persona, that could actually trip you up at times. And now, note I'm switching to Hello every time she summons Deveros. That is because, well, Deveros only uses stats effects, and Hello has
Your
Unshaken
fate's
Will,
in the cards.
whereas Orpheus Telos does not. The only thing I have to worry about actually is poison when she summons Deveros. Considering poison can really drain resources. Or at least waste a turn.
Yeah.
Or at least waste a turn. Now, the interesting thing about Elizabeth is the fact that she does actually return in Persona 4 Arena as a playable
I
character.
have chosen.
She does have a lot of her skills she actually could use for P3 in Arena. But the thing is, while she has a lot of powerful skills, she does not have a large amount of health, so therefore, as well as not a lot of defense.
A token of my appreciation.
And if she's Persona broken,
I have chosen.
all of her special attacks will be gone, meaning that she will be utterly useless. Because she is very dependent on her Persona, which, by the way, in Arena, is Thanatos. And her instant kill, well, what else? Megadola on.
Of course.
Your fate's in the cards.
Now, normally, Elizabeth wouldn't be that hard to handle, considering her low HP and defense in Arena. But in Score Attack, it's a whole other ballgame. She is the final opponent of Score Attack, the ultimate opponent, in fact. And, of course, the CPU control Elizabeth in Score Attack is very different. She gains ridiculously high health, and as well as infuriating
Your
buffs.
fate's in the cards.
Her health becomes roughly 20,000. Her Vigorate skill actually instantly raises her super meter to 100 in a span of 4 seconds, and no longer suffers from the cooldown drawback caused by using skill break versions of specials and
Your
combos.
fate's in the cards.
When put in Awakening, she will now immediately use Dia Rahan, which not only heals her completely, but is now fully invincible and knocks the opponent away like Gil's Resurrection Super from Street Fighter 3. Her Mahama and Mamudo on now come out instantly and do not disappear if she is hit. Her Ghastly Wail or Memento Mori attack now deals 7,500 damage normally, and 44,444 if fear is inflicted. And her Megadola instant kill, which is normally, it requires you to actually counter it. Your opponent's attack 3 times with it. It no longer requires that. All in all, if you're gonna beat her in Score Attack, you're gonna have to do so with hopefully an instant kill if you're lucky. Otherwise, if she is Point of Awakening, you'll have already lost the fight.
Persona.
So, yeah, they're not kidding when they say that she is one who rules over power. Just like her older sister. Fortunately, her older sister is a lot kinder in this regard. More on that if I actually decide to actually fight her in Persona 4. Because it wouldn't make sense to me, for me to finding how she fights when I haven't even fought her yet at all. But I will say this much. At least for her, you can actually use a full party as opposed to fighting alone.
So there is that.
As well, yeah. Overall, this is going to be a very long fight because I had to literally chip her down bit by bit. While at the same time being mindful of the fact that she does have 20,000 health, and therefore, as well as a set amount of turns before she just says, that's it.
Prepare.
Okay. Slash attack. Counter! Yeah, that's how much the counters hurt. And in hard mode, she is beatable. You just gotta make sure you do not make any mistakes.
Persona.
And in fact, the counters actually hurt a lot more on hard.
I have chosen.
Fortunately, she didn't use a physical attack. Otherwise, I would have been dead in the water. Because then I would have been forced to use my Plume of Dusk. Because since my Enduring Soul is gone, that means, again, I'm in a severe disadvantage.
Persona.
Yes.
Overall, yeah, she has earned the moniker Ultimate Boss.
Can you withstand
She is
this?
indeed the ultimate opponent.
A token of my appreciation.
Yep. And of course, in Persona 4 Arena, she does have a certain theme, obviously. The battle for everyone's souls.
Persona.
It's not even remixed, it's the original track.
Can you withstand this?
Although I will say this much, Elizabeth's sister, she may have less HP, but she is a lot stronger in terms of offense.
Persona.
But yeah, let's just say that after the events of the journey and the answer, Elizabeth, well, she decides to actually leave the Velvet Room. For reasons which I won't explain yet. Now I'll have to wait until after Persona 3 the answer.
Your fate's in the card.
Yes. So just keep on keeping on.
I have chosen.
Yeah. By the way, in terms of her little brother, he fights the same way in Persona 3 Portable. Albeit he uses a much different set of personas. Nah. Yeah. A much different set of personas and fights the same way in terms of patterns.
Prepare.
Ah!
Can you withstand this?
Ugh.
How?
Fortunately, it wasn't a big fight. Fortunately, it wasn't a big hit. Again. Anyway, Theodore's personas of choice are, in order, Uriel,
Your fate's in the card.
Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, Sandaphon, Lilith, Abaddon, and Beelzebub for Megadolon and Orion. And it's in that same order with the exact same skills. So yeah, in fact, it's kind of a lot harder to actually get fusion spells in P3B, considering that you need gemstones in order to actually purchase them from Shishoto Antiques.
Can you withstand this?
Meaning, Armageddon? You're actually gonna have to earn it.
Persona.
Well,
And,
damn.
yeah. And, if you defeat all the doors in
Your fate
the
in
Vision
palm.
Quest in Persona 3 Portable, you can even fight Margaret, who has a completely different set of rules from her two siblings.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Your fate is in the card.
But yeah, I see not much else to say about this fight, considering that
Apologize in
it's nothing more than the ultimate battle of attrition. I mean, there's not much else I can do at this point. But I will say this much. In terms of ultimate bosses, let's say, while Elizabeth is lethal, at least she's not as bad as the Demi-Fiend from Digital Devil Saga. Now, why do I mention him? Well, simple. He too is the ultimate boss of that game. And he's from Nocturne, obviously.
Your fate is in the card.
Yeah.
In fact, there are a lot of there's a lot of ultimate bosses in these games. Let's see, Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2, Beelzebub, for example. In Nocturne, Lucifer is the true is the ultimate boss in that game. In Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, in EX Dungeon, Philemon is also an ultimate boss.
Your fate is in the card.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your fate
Now-
is in the card.
I might as well get this out of the way in terms of the Demi-Fiend. Yeah, anyway, Nocturne, it's very, very difficult. But, oh, 75%.
Your power is every bit as impressive as I'd hoped. But
Alrighty,
the
so we
curtain
got it
has
down
just
to that.
risen. Show me
Phew.
your best performance.
Alright, we just need to whittle her down by another 5,000. Anyway, the Demi-Fiend appears in Digital Devil Saga as a powerful ultimate boss, who can only be challenged by starting a new cycle plus.
Persona.
He can be found in the Anhanata Underground Dungeon. Aside from using altered special attacks to gain a high critical rate, he possesses a modified version of Gaia Rage, which is now a devastating almighty type attack that can deal anywhere between 3,000 to 30,000 damage on all characters, depending on their stats. Should Surf's party enter the battle with skills or equipment that nullify any of his attacks, the boss will start the battle with Gaia Rage, killing all present characters instantaneously.
Can you withstand this?
The only forms of protection you have are resist skills such as resist physical. He's accompanied by 2 demon minions and will summon a new minion to replace anyone who has been defeated. The demons that the ultimate boss summons are as follows: Kukulin, Garimekala, Pixie, Arahabaki, Titania, and Parvati. For every 2 demons summoned, the boss will also use Gaia Rage. One of the ways to survive it, aside from dodging it normally, is to have all characters endowed with low luck stats along with no
I
sleep,
apologize in advance.
a skill allowing a 100% dodge rate against all attacks while sleeping. Finally, they must allow themselves to be hit by Dormina, which is cast by Pixie, Titania, and Parvati. Gaia Rage will miss every sleeping character. The Demi-Fiend possesses 18,000 HP, but when it drops to half, one of his demons will use Meteor Raw Hand to fully heal him, effectively boosting his total to 27,000. However, this only happens once for the duration of the fight. Upon defeating him, the party will find themselves back in the Ahanata dungeon, awakening in the chamber and noticing a dying message written on the floor. Death's vastness holds no peace. I come at the end of the long road, neither human nor devil, all bends to my will. The Amala ring will then be unlocked. It's an accessory that can only be obtained in the sequel. It is similar to the Masakato's Megatama, as it gives plus 10 to all stats. The WF's difficulty has made him an infamous boss fight, appearing as #1 on multiple top 10 most difficult RPG bosses. And many other gaming websites also consider him the most difficult as well. And what's more, the random battle music plays during his encounter, generally believed to represent his view of the battle as an everyday random encounter. So yeah, for him it's just business as usual.
Yeesh.
Yeah, you thought she was bad? He's worse!
Your fate's in the card. I have chosen.
Yeah, it hurts. He hurts a lot.
I have chosen.
Yeah, since I got a 3DS,
Yeah, might as well, considering there's not much else to say.
I actually want to check out Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Yeah, it actually is good, apparently. Maybe you should also check out the Devil Survivor games. Or even Soul Hackers.
Maybe I will.
Your fate's in the card.
Well, of course, prepare to get your ass kicked a lot.
Yeah.
Token of my appreciation.
With regards to SMT4, I'm not sure where I'll go. I guess I'll just see where my choices take me on the first run, and then do another one to try for neutral, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you withstand this?
Well, we'll see what happens if you decide to do that. But as for me, I'm not sure if I'll be branching off towards the other Mega 10 games. Maybe a couple of them, but I'm just not sure at the moment.
Your fate's in the card. Your fate's in the card.
Yeah, at this point, I think she's starting to run. We're starting to run out of turns, but it's not going to end until roughly the 40-minute mark or so. And yes, I'm poisoned.
Poison hurts.
Especially since it saps away 20% health.
I have chosen.
Fortunately, we can switch back to Telos and use Salvation.
Persona.
It's just having to do this alone is painful. I mean, I'm not sure what the people at Atlas were thinking when they made this fight. I'm not sure at all.
Me neither.
All I guess what I could say is, when Atlas makes their ultimate bosses difficult, they don't slouch. There are no slouches.
No.
There are no slouches at all.
Certainly not.
Persona.
I mean, sure I could have used an elemental skill with an amp, but then again, what if I accidentally heal her with she uses Thor? If I had like Thunder Ray and elect amp.
Persona.
It's just it would suck.
Yes. Yes, it would.
At least it's a good thing shock wears off once it's my turn. What would have sucked is if she shocked me on the first turn and then physical attacked me.
Prepare.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would have hurt.
Persona.
Eventually, I'm gonna lose my Plume of Dusk. But yeah, I will mention though, this took me 6 attempts!
Yeesh.
Yeah, with varying degrees of success. Sometimes I lose flat out, other times I come close only to have her heal herself, and there are times where I simply just ran out of time. Uh-oh. Ah!
Can you withstand
Ow.
Ah!
this? Be careful!
I'm dead.
Can you withstand this? Oh
Fortunately, the Plume of Dusk is still there, so I can use it.
no!
Unfortunately, it gives her ability to use another turn. Let's see, I'm gonna have to switch to Hell Elf at this point. I think
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if she had switched to Neberos. Or will switch to Neberos. Okay. She did. Yeah, because saying that, yeah, when you use a Plume of Dusk, she will gain a turn. Or at least be allowed to still attack you. So if you fail to use Affinity, for example, and you end up suffering 2 Megadolons, she'll just cast it again when she has Masakato. Constantly, especially on easy mode, if you have multiple Plumes of Dusk. She'll just keep on using it over and over until you can no longer recover.
Persona!
And in fact, the closer I get to her health being halfway, the less I attack. Considering when I do attack her, if I ever attack her and lower her down to below 10,000, she'll heal herself. And the thing is, if she gets countered, that actually is, well, here's the thing.
Can you withstand
If you
this?
want her to not heal herself when she gets to halfway, you want her to get counterattacked on the second turn, not the first. Otherwise, if she gets countered on the first turn, she will heal herself. That is what requires the most luck.
Can you withstand this?
Overall, yeah, that bad.
Your fate is in the cards. Your fate is in the cards.
I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to win this fight, but lo and behold, I did.
A token of my
Just, if she didn't have 2 turns, it'd be a bit easier, but no, she has it.
Because Atlas just loves to torture us.
I have chosen.
Yeah. Miss. There comes a strike. Counter! But yeah, in hard mode, like I said, the high counter damage is higher. Well, then again, because she hits harder.
A token of
So
my
yeah, more pain.
Which means roughly like 500 to maybe even 1,000 damage per counter. Okay. Prime of Force, 136.
Your fate is
I'm just doing whatever I can to deliver at least some damage. But yeah, the biggest amount of luck is your high counters. Considering that, depending on how many you get, it may be a short battle or even a battle as long as this.
And I just knocked the mic over.
Eh,
Oh me!
yay.
Persona!
It's just, it hurt to have to endure every single one of those attacks. But then again, I had to use the Divine Pillar.
I have chosen.
I mean, there's no way I would have been able to actually beat her without it. So yeah, I had to sacrifice evasion for defense. And just endure every single one of her attacks. Yeah, better
Yeah.
recharge my SP and HP. Considering I think I'm getting close enough to the threshold.
I apologize in advance.
Counter. But yeah, I think it was this point I had to more or less kind of restrain myself at times. She's getting closer.
Your fate is in the cards.
This might take another round or so.
Persona!
But yeah, as you can see, this is how tough she is throughout this whole fight. Just gotta keep my HP up.
Persona.
While at the same time, as she draws closer and closer to half health, I gotta make sure my SP is just as high. Just as high in terms of that, by that I mean actually up to max. That way, cast Armageddon if it comes to that. Because that is perhaps the only way you can actually beat her. When she dips below half health but is unable to counterattack.
Your fate is in the cards.
Be careful.
Ouchies.
That sucked. Yes, I'm now reduced to using Somas on a constant basis. So make sure my HP gets stays up. But yeah, once she dips below half health, that is when you want to strike with Armageddon. Otherwise, if you waste a turn, she will heal herself.
You will die.
Very, very painfully.
Persona.
But yeah, actually, it's not recommended to use your standard physical attack, considering that since she does have high agility, you can and will stumble.
And that will be bad.
Yeah. Alright. Can't risk using more SP, so... or anything like that, so I'm just gonna use medical powder. Yes, now I'm breaking out the medical powders.
I have chosen.
Okay. If you manage to get a couple more counterattacks and stuff, I think we can actually do this.
Okay. Come on.
And I gotta make sure my SP is at max when the time comes. Otherwise, I'll lose my one chance.
Persona.
I'm pretty sure it's when she summons, at least switches to Jack Frost, that she gets countered. Alright, back to Telos. Better use another precious egg. Or a Soma, even.
Can you withstand this?
Ooh! Nope, that's not it.
Your fate is in the cards.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I can pretty much no longer attack. More or less, I gotta just keep on healing. It's okay, it's not this cycle, but it's gonna be another cycle of turns. So yeah, my luck is not that high, obviously. So, you know, it is max luck. It's just my overall luck is just not that great.
Persona.
Considering I've rarely gotten enough high counters. Yeah. It's kind of sad when you're reduced to using medical powders against Elizabeth. It's because I don't want to use up my SP. Because neither Hela or Satan have Spellmaster, I believe.
Nope.
There's another miss. There's another Mahamon. At this point, I think I was running out of homunculi as well. So yeah, like I said, I wasn't even fully prepared for this fight. And I still won!
Your fate's in the cards.
I will say this much. After all this, I'm not fighting her ever again. I mean, I don't need to.
And who would?
I mean, seriously, if only to actually improve themselves somehow, but then again, I don't see how anyone could improve in a situation like this. Alright, now cast another Infinity, and then my next turn, fully patch up my SP.
Alrighty.
I have chosen.
I really hated this fight. Really did.
I have chosen.
but I wanted to make this run as complete as possible, so the challenge presented itself.
So, yeah.
Okay. Alright, precious egg. I'm pretty sure she switches to Jack Frost that she gets countered.
Persona.
Because every time she makes a turn, I keep wondering, is she going to get countered? Or is she just use a skill? Not just that, but
Persona.
I gotta pray that she gets countered on a second turn, not a first. And
My precious.
there!
There we go.
There. That's it. Now we can finally end this battle.
Finally.
It's time to say goodnight. At this point, she can no longer do anything else. It's over.
We got it.
0 experience. Obviously, we're max level.
I believed that I would find my answer when I challenged one who was stronger than me. But I was wrong. I have received no such revelation, not even in defeat.
I wouldn't be so sure, Elizabeth.
Wait, I am mistaken. The answer is this. Only I can decide who I am. Now, I believe congratulations are in order.
Even though she was defeated.
You have overcome the most
She just
difficult
brushes it
obstacle
right
I've
off.
placed in your path. You shall receive
It's
your
about
reward,
as,
the same as
it's about as
always.
bad as
But please
say
accept this
Sephiroth
as well.
brushing off Sora's attempts
is
to
no
beat him in Kingdom
reward.
Hearts 2.
It is a sign of my gratitude.
Anyway, for beating her, we get the Platinum Bookmark. The ultimate proof that one has
Okay.
trumped one who
Good
rules
day.
over power.
That was just...
If I had to describe it in one word, pain.
Yes. Lots and lots of pain.
Alright, let's get a reward. Yeah, this quest requires no confirmation. It is the last thing you ask of me. The last reward I will receive, the gift of ultimate power. You're sure to persevere. Okay. Alright, the omnipotent orb is ours. Not that it matters. And with that, the journey is now over. See you guys down the line for Persona 3 FES the answer. Farewell, folks.